Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest 8-second gaming, and in today's video we're going to be taking a look at the latest Overwatch 2 patch and how it affects the heroes in their current tier list. But if you guys are looking to take your Overwatch skill to the next level, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there we have top level coaches creating the best, most highly informative guides to make you the best player you could possibly be. We have hero guides, positioning guides, aim guides, literally everything you'll need to get better. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today. But okay, let's jump into things and start talking about the patch notes first. It isn't a very big patch, if at all, just some minor tweaks to heroes affected in the patch before. And starting off, we have Cassidy. Cassidy has regained some of his dual potential. That's always nice to see, but will it really change a lot? Well, yes, actually. Cassidy's grenade before was a long-range anti-engage tool and was fairly inconsistent to hit close up and from far away. Now they have nerfed its seeking radius, meaning it's going to be hard to hit from further away and technically up close, but it won't change much for those duels. The part that buffs his duel is his homing duration. They made it lock onto your target 75% faster, meaning when those Genjis and Tracers are looking to take you out, your grenade will attach to them much faster, making it much better tool in those duels. This is actually a decent buff since all they really did was up the skill ceiling of it to use while buffing it overall. And where Cassidy was struggling before, which was those duels after the grenade change. They're bringing some of the power back, which you can never complain about as a hero that likes to go on an off angle and take those duels. We previously had placed Cassidy at the A tier below Ashe and just above Sojourn, and we are still very confident that he is placed there for the DPS tier list. However, this does majorly impact other heroes from other roles too. D.Va is going to have a significantly harder time eating that grenade since it will lock on much faster, meaning going in on a Cassidy is going to be significantly riskier. So much in fact that we believe she is now a worse overall pick than Orisa, as a grenade will completely negate any chance for her escaping. And Orisa is actually stronger in the sense that she isn't really affected at all by this change, so D.Va will remain in the A tier, but just in that spot lower than Orisa. Doomfist is also affected by this heavily. We've got to drop him lower than Winston now, since again he is impacted by this change a lot more than him. However, Winston also feels the effect of this change a lot, making it extremely difficult to put him into the B tier, yet still we feel confident placing him above Doomfist. The same can be said for Wrecking Ball. We gotta drop him a spot too, as he is heavily countered by this grenade. Before, he was in the B tier above Reinhardt and just below Zarya. We've got to swap Rein and Ball here, as again, Rein is fine while Ball is going to feel rough into that grenade. But what about the supports? Lucio is actually going to be impacted heavily by this as well, as you could imagine. Before, his quick movement could evade the grenade, but now that it locks on easier, not so much. Before, he was the only one in A tier, but we are going to move Kiriko, who was previously in the highest spot of B tier with Brigitte, up to that A tier spot above Lucio thanks to her cleanse, who we feel will strongly impact the grenade's use overall. Now the next hero that is receiving some changes is Mei. Now Mei was significantly buffed, as now her one-shot is extremely easy to pull off even against heroes being healed. The maximum slow she deals is reduced from 50% to 40%, but the damage that the primary fire now deals was up to 55 to 70 per second. This is a significant buff, as you can imagine, and that full freeze to secondary fire combo will one-shot very consistently now, so have fun on what was already a strong pick. Her maximum slow once her freeze fully activates was nerfed from 75% to 65% to make up for this incredible buff. But we feel like this will make a massive change in the grand scheme of things, and where Mei was previously ranked in the lowest spot of A tier, we now feel super confident moving Sojourn, who is 2 spots ahead of her, all the way down below Torb and Mei, with Mei overtaking Torbjorn. Yes, we do think it's still going to be impactful, and who can blame us? Against Brawl or Dive, people that are going to have a terrible time playing into you, other than maybe a Reaper or Torb, there isn't stronger close range threat after all. The others have high damage, but now you have isolation and even higher damage than before. As a truly unique utility DPS, we believe that she deserves this spot. Moving into our next hero though, we've got Lifeweaver. And Lifeweaver did receive a buff, and this one we just have to make fun of Blizzard for. It's as if they're just throwing darts at a dartboard to pick what number they will increase or decrease. Nonetheless though, he was buffed. He now holds 80 ammo instead of 70, and made it so that he must fire an amount of bullets before his spread kicks in. So only after you fire 20 shots will you have spread, kind of like Sojourn. Now this buff isn't what he needed at all. Lifeweaver lacks utility. The utility he gives is like Symmetra, except she can provide consistent transportation and safety as well as damage. Lifeweaver only stops people from dying or can very inconsistently move people into more advantageous positions, which is not what you need in a meta revolved around hyper-aggressive pushes. Still, his DPS output has been put higher. He isn't the type of hero that can go aggressive and off angle, and his dual potential is horrifically bad, but he can poke a bit better now, so we gotta give him that. And unfortunately, we can't really move him anywhere as again, his buffs don't change how he needs to be played, and there is still almost no reason to play him over any of the other heroes that give better value. However, if Blizzard is moving in the direction of more damage, something that would significantly increase his ability to output, it is significantly decreasing his dash, making him more mobile and giving him the opportunity to survive more aggression just like how he does to his teammates. But now let's go where all of these heroes should be placed in comparison with one another with these patches in mind. Starting off in D tier, Moira, Roadhog, Bastion, and Symmetra all need to be placed in the D tier. Yes, Lifeweaver was in the D tier previously, however he has been buffed and that will now be moving him into the C tier category with Mercy. We have to put Roadhog in that very bottom spot of D tier since after all, it's Roadhog. Symmetra takes that second lowest spot as she doesn't find much consistent value at all thanks to how vulnerable she is. Then we have Moira, and she might be rising in the ranks and moving up to C tier soon because she is showing her dominance in pro play. Still in rank, she isn't the best. And as for the top of D tier, we gotta put Bastion. He is showing great value in the meta, but still not the best pick across the board. Moving into the C tier though, like we said before, Lifeweaver will take the bottom spot there, moving up from D tier thanks to the buff of his damage output. Then we gotta put Soldier 76 as he has become less valuable over time, not receiving any buffs to help him find the value he used to get. And then Mercy feels solid in the middle of C tier just below Doomfist, who dropped down below Winston's spot as he won't be feeling great with that Cassidy buff. Genji and Reaper will be up next. They feel to be around the same spot right now, but Genji is probably a bit stronger as his skill ceiling allows for some great plays. Up next, we have Winston, and we wish we could put him higher, but again, this meta isn't really for him. And at the top of C tier, we have Pharah, who is proving time and time again she should be moved up, but unfortunately since snipers are so strong right now, it's kind of hard to argue for that change into the B tier. But speaking of B tier, that's what's up next, and not much has changed again other than Kiriko moving up. Brig takes the bottom spot in B tier as she is falling out of the meta more and more. Sigma, Reinhardt, and Wrecking Ball are all feeling that same effect, and we gotta put Ball below Reinhardt, whereas previously it was the other way around. Still, Sigma falling below him due to the fact that he is too situational. Sombra, however, moving all the way to high B tier above the Reinhardt pick. The DPS in B tier feels significantly stronger than tanks and supports, therefore this tier list will certainly reflect that, with Widowmaker coming up in the middle spot as well as Junkrat just above her as you can imagine. He still finds amazing value in those brawls, but here's where it gets tricky. Sombra is feeling super strong right now as well as Echo, but Zarya is an absolute powerhouse, so because of that we are going to put Sombra in below Echo and let Zarya take the top spot as she is feeling even better than before and has progressed in the meta substantially. Let's move into some big time carries in the A tier, so kicking it off we have Sojourn taking the bottom spot. As we mentioned in previous guys, Torbjorn and Mei are looking super strong right now, so since she was placed above those two before, we gotta drop her down. We also mentioned Diva taking a hit due to Cassidy's grenade, and that follows here, placing her in the second lowest A tier spot, and then Orisa follows that spot for the previously mentioned reasons. Torbjorn is next, he's placed just below Mei, and they are both extremely powerful but don't quite output that long range consistent value the meta demands for right now. And then Lucio follows as a much higher A tier spot above Mei since he's an absolute menace against every type of composition. It feels good to say that Kiriko takes this high of a position in A tier. We feel confident that these patches will bring her that step closer to putting her in the S tier, since with the play rate of Mei and Cassidy going up, Kiriko will become ever more viable and powerful. And just above her, Cassidy, not taking that top spot in A tier as Ashe still holds that significant advantage over him of being able to complete both of his job and the job of a CC god thanks to Bob and Dynamite, making her a much more consistent pick. But now we've reached the top and the S tier picks. And Tracer has to be put at the bottom, yet still in the S tier, where otherwise she would have been much higher. The play rate of Mei and Kiriko rising does not help her case as both can severely threaten her life at almost all moments of a fight. As well as Cassidy having the increased duel potential against her, it's hard to argue for anything else other than this spot. Still a powerhouse S tier hero though. And next up we have Junker Queen. Her play rate is dropping substantially in higher elo, and we are sure this is affecting those lower elo gains. Nevertheless, she is an absolute powerhouse, and until that self-heal is fixed, she will likely remain an S tier pick. Ana and Baptiste are coming in next, and Ana taking that lower spot as Baptiste is being played much more frequently thanks to his insane healing output for those brawl compositions, with Zenyatta following shortly after these. The supports at S tier feel like they are extremely close to each other, and we can't really put them anywhere other than next to each other as the heroes below them are certainly significantly weaker, but the ones above them are just so much stronger. And speaking of which, Ramattra takes that spot, cementing himself again as an absolute powerhouse. But wouldn't you believe it, a hero is actually getting placed above him. And we have been talking a lot about him recently. It's Hanzo. He is an absolute menace right now in this meta thanks to the Widow change in the previous patch. We don't see that changing anytime soon. So he does place himself at the highest pick right now. But also, if you guys are going to be looking to take your Overwatch skill to the next level, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there we have top level coaches, including myself, creating the best, most highly informative guides to make you the best player you can possibly be. No matter what you struggle with, we have the solution for you. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today.